Hello YouTube, this is Chris Lee on TV. I'm going to be giving a review on a Glock 17 Generation 4 pistol. This is the original carry case that all Glocks come in. We'll talk about this more and the contents of it later on in the video. Let's open it up, get out the gun, put this away for now. And let's safety check the weapon before talking about anything. There's no round in the chamber. Check with my finger, there's no round. No magazine in the gun. Point safe direction. Pull. Alright, the gun is safe, but we will always treat it as if it was loaded. So I'd like to talk about my personal history and experiences with this pistol. I purchased this pistol at a local gun show in Dallas, Texas for the price of $583, and to this day I have suffered no malfunctions with this pistol. And I'm confidently saying that I am 100% satisfied with this pistol. Weapons characteristics. Its weight is 22.04 ounces without a magazine in the gun. If our reference point, a standard 1911 weighs 36 ounces. So this is a significant reduction in weight to, for example, a 1911, and that is thanks to the polymer frame that some people have concerns with it being polymer, as is they believe it is less reliable and durable. We will address those concerns later on in the review, but let's move on for now. Part count. This gun, the Glock 17, has 35 parts in the gun, and for another reference point, we're going to refer back to 1911, which has 53 parts. So the less parts in the gun, the lower chance of there being an issue or malfunction with the gun, increasing its reliability. Ergonomics. To me, its ergonomics are fantastic. It has this nice stippling on the Generation 4. Some prefer the Generation 3 and say the Generation 4 is a little bit too aggressive for them. But for me, it is absolutely no problem, and I personally do not see me ever having a problem with the aggressiveness of the grips. I respect that opinion, but for me, no problem at all. And the serrations on the slide itself, they're not my favorite kind. I like the fish scale type serrations on some of the M&Ps, but this is more than sufficient. Another thing about ergonomics, one last thing, is it comes with these back straps so that you can put them on the gun and make the grip a little bit bigger if you have larger hands. This is thinner than Generation 3 and I love it like this. Perfectly fine, fits in my hand like a glove, and I haven't even tried putting a back strap on, but the smaller of the back straps, when you put it on, it makes it the same size as the Generation 3 grip, and you can add another to even, to a greater extent, increase the size of the grip. And I believe you can get them even bigger from Glock. I'm not entirely sure on that one. Firepower. It shoots a 9mm Luger, and for a reference point, a standard 1911 shoots a 45. Here's a 45 ACP fired and a 9mm fired. As you can see, the 45 ACP is double, possibly even triple the size of 9mm, and that's a lot more bang for your buck. But for me and my purposes, a 9mm is more than sufficient. I use this for my POU as a range gun and perhaps a home defense weapon. So for me, this is perfectly sufficient, as is the standard factory magazine. Old 17 rounds in the gun versus 1911's standard 7-round magazine. Oh, and for the record, I'm not giving 1911 a problem. I have a very, very deep respect for 1911. I just believe that it's a weapon that many people know and are familiar with, so I'm using it as a reference point to the Glock 17. Because it has definitely its own advantages. But right now we're just talking about it as a reference point to the Glock 17. Oh, and by the way, the magazines, you can get a extension on the magazine, so it's a 19 round, and you can get a 33 round magazine for your 9mm Glocks. So I think it does pretty well on quantity of firepower. Ease of use. I'd say that you could give this gun to someone who's never shot a firearm and tell them that you put a mag here, you pull this back, and you pull the trigger, and that's all they need to know. It really is. So for that reason, it's a very, very good beginner's pistol in my opinion, but it is still a very good weapon system for even advanced shooters. for a wide variety of purposes. And even to break it down, I'm not going to explain how to do this. I'll have a video on how to field strip it later on. But an example of how usually it breaks down all the way to a field strip. Done. That's field stripped. So you can completely clean out all that you need to for about 8,000 rounds right here. Before you have to get into the slide, take this apart, put this back there, put the spring back in, slide on the rails, pull it back, do a dry fire to make sure that everything's functioning properly. So, ease of use, excellent for a beginner. You can give it to anybody, tell them the basics, they can use this gun. Value, for the price I paid for it, $586, 100% satisfaction. For me personally, that's my opinion, that I'm 100% satisfied. I think it has a very high value and a very high quality of pistol. I recommend it to new shooters extremely. I can't push how much I recommend this pistol to new shooters, but even to advanced shooters or anywhere in between, I still recommend this pistol. POU, philosophy of use, holster gun. Holster carry, I believe, is a good use for it, but I would like to talk a little bit about some similar models like a Glock 21. I believe that shoots a 45 ACP round. Like I said, much more bang for your buck. So for a holster gun, I'd probably use something like a Glock 21. It has more bang. But this is still a very excellent firearm, and it's more than sufficient. So I'm saying that Glock has many other options out there that can fit a wide variety of needs. Concealed carry, some people maybe, but especially for the smaller build people, that'd be a large issue. And I think it'd be better to go with something like a Glock 19, which is basically the same thing as this, just same round, except it's shorter. You cut off a little bit off the slide and a little bit off the grip. You can still get your entire hand on the grip. So, unless you have some large hands. I know people with larger hands can't get their pinky on the grip, but you can get extension, so that gives you a pinky rest. So, Glock 17 concealed carry, maybe. Depends what kind of person you are. If you really love this gun and you prefer the longer sight radius, or maybe it's just more comfortable for you, go ahead. You can try it. If it works out good for you, then good luck. That's good. Well, I'll give a field strip demonstration at this point. So what you do is you take your hand, push in here into this beveling, I think that's what you'd call it, and they have these little notches, these little tabs on each side of the gun. That's one piece going through the gun. What you do is you take your fingernail, that's what I do, and you pull them down both sides, and you pull this back just a little bit, just like that, and you pull those down, push slide forward. You're done with the frame for now. So if you just spring, you just pull it out. Take the barrel, you push it forward, pull it out, done. That's a field strip. Put it back in, simply reverse the process, and I'll give you a more detailed spring. The black part of the spring goes forward to that hole right there, and let me give you a close view of this. There is a semicircle right there that you need to get this piece into. So you push into that semicircle, get it in there good, and the slide is reassembled. You simply put these two notches on each side onto these rails, pull it back, pull the trigger. The reason you dry fire it is, one, to make the gun safer, and two, you're checking out that all the mechanics are working and functioning properly. So that's the purpose of doing a dry fire after you reassemble the gun. Package. So I'll tell you about the package, what all it comes with. So we'll just move this aside for now, over here, and we'll pull this out. This is the original carry case. I believe it is more than sufficient for your gun and all of your magazines. Mine came with 3. I don't know if that's how it comes from the factory. It comes with a nice speed loader. So let me show you how this works. What it does is, if there's a round, like so, see, this pushes it down. So some people's thumbs, when it's getting down there to like 15, 16, 17, by the way, it has a round count on the back. it gets difficult for them. So what you do is you can push this down, you put it on a stable platform, and you push it down. It pushes down the round for you. You can put the next one, get it started, you pull it, push this up, push it in, and then repeat the process. So, speed loader. This is pretty good. This gets done much faster whenever you get down there, but at this point I really have no problem just loading them in by hand. I know there's some really nice ones that just make you fly by reloading. So mine came with 3, excuse me. I purchased a 4th one. It comes with the gun, of course. It comes with a gun lock and 2 keys. It has some, user manuals and stuff like that. It comes with a cleaning brush and ramrod. Not ramrod, you know what I'm talking about. Excuse me. Comes with the back straps. Comes with a couple of shells that they use whenever they tested the gun at the factory. On the other side it has information like the technician and stuff like that, but I'm not going to show that. Alright, so that's packaged, that's what it comes with. You can put this aside. I want to talk about its advantages at this point. A few big advantages of this gun. One, first of all, is out of the box accurate. This gun is accurate out of the box. It truly is. I mean, for you, you might have to adjust it a little bit, but for me and from many other people that I hear from their experiences, out of the box accurate. It is lightweight. We've talked about this already, but it is very lightweight. Ease of use. Like I said, easy to use. So I'm just listening this all up. Ease of maintenance. It has a constant trigger. So the trigger pull is always going to be the same since it is a striker fight rather than a single action or double action or single double action. So what that means is like a single double action, the first trigger pull will be double action and they'll switch to single action. Let's say you have it cocked back. With the striker fire, it doesn't matter. It's going to be the same weight trigger pull of 5 pounds every time you pull the trigger. And you can get a lighter trigger on these, and I believe that the Glock 19 comes from the factory with a 3-pound trigger, because that is the concealed version. High capacity mags, we talked about that. That's 17 rounds already. They can get 19 and 33. Teflon coated metal parts. I don't know whatever other word for it, but they soak. I don't know. They soak whatever. They have a Teflon coating all of the metal parts of every Glock pistol, which stops it from rusting. So that means you don't have to worry about oiling the metal or anything on these pistols because they're coated with Teflon, high quality Teflon. And some people worry that if the paint scratches off a little bit, they have to oil it there. Do not worry. The Teflon coating is under the paint, so the paint scratches off. You're still covered by the Teflon. Milled slide. To me, this advantage, some may think different since a milled slide is going to weigh more than stamped or pressed metal, for example. It is a milled slide which it brings out the durability to the gun. It makes the build stronger on the gun. So to me, I believe that's an advantage. At least in my opinion, that is an advantage. Low part count. We talked about that. That brings up the reliability of the gun. And from what I have heard, there was a man that put 200,000 rounds through this gun, through this particular model, and it's still going, it's still working. So durability, I definitely get respect for his durability, as is multiple militaries have adopted this pistol. Interchangeable back straps. We talked about that before. These things right here, it increases or decreases the size of the grip. So I think this is a very good advantage. So it can cover the comfort levels to a wider variety of people. Now, that's the advantages that I see. I may have missed a couple. I apologize if I did. But I want to talk about the disadvantages and or public concerns. First of all, it's polymer frame. Some people do not like the polymer frame because they believe it's not durable or reliable enough. But in the 25 years or so that it's been around, it's proven very reliable. And for me, I've had no issues with it, of course. And I do know that there are steel implants in areas of high stress to increase the performance and reliability and durability of the polymer frame. If you look at Glock 17 magazine, you pull one out right here, you can see that they have steel implants as well. I see there's a bit of steel there. I don't know if that goes all the way down, but you can see right there there's steel in them. Milled slide. Like I said, this could be advantage or disadvantage depending on the person. Polymer mags, again, not everyone likes polymer. It's not necessarily the thing. Like I said, no problem for me. Striker fire system. I believe that the striker fire system is an advantage, especially for me. That ties in with its constant trigger. Some people, they want a light, 2-3 pound trigger constantly with a single action trigger. That may be their preference, but for me, my preference is striker fired. Aggressive stippling. That's another disadvantage. That's concern. That's a public concern, if you ask me. Is people say that the stippling is too aggressive. Some people. So I'm just gonna make note of that. The lack of a flip safety. That is probably the biggest concern that I see. I don't have an issue with it, but that I understand. There's not a flip safety at all anywhere on the gun. It has 3 internal safeties. No, 2 internal safeties, 1 external. External one is this inner trigger on the gun. I don't know if you can see it. There we go. That inner trigger right there. That's inside the frame of the trigger. What that is you can't pull the trigger. If you pull on the outside, it won't fire. But you have to deliberately put your finger on the trigger to pull it. And I believe there's 2 other safeties that I cannot recall how they work that are inside the works of the gun. Small slide release. Some people give a problem because of the small slide release right here. As you can see, there's not a lot of surface area. I have no problems pushing that down. I like it. I have no problems with that. In comparison to like a 1911, it's perfectly fine for me. An example of one that's got a nice big, easy use slide release is like a what's it called? H&K USP 45. But you can get larger slide releases from the factory if you wish. This is to be, small and concealable. They're trying to have streamlined along the slide. So that is the last of the concerns and issues that I'm aware of. There may be others. I apologize if I do not cover everything, but I believe I've covered the wide spectrum over the Glock 17. A similar product that I think you should look for and consider purchasing is a Glock 19, since it's really not a big issue because they shave off a little bit here, but you can still get all of your fingers on the gun if you have medium-sized, smaller hands, and it's going to be lighter. The only issue that I could see is maybe the shorter sight radius. With a Glock 19, it's it's more concealable, but the Glock 19 out of the box has a 3-pound trigger. So, you could use Glock 19 for concealed carry. This is more than sufficient for me. I'm happy with this pistol. But, that's just something to keep aware of, is Glock 19 is another good choice. I would like to have a disclaimer, because some people ask me this question of why I link to other videos, to other channels, and even at times I'll say or think that it is a superior review to mine. The purpose of this is I'm trying to help the market. I'm trying to help people that are trying to purchase pistols. And I have one data point. I personally searched through YouTube and through the internet to get info on guns, and you find a few good videos that give you all the info you need. And I try to link those videos that gave me a lot of help and helped me with my decisions. So I link those in my videos to give as much help to a consumer as best I can. Well, I hope you enjoyed the review. I truly hope that it was helpful to you. Thank you for watching. Please like, rate, and subscribe. Comment. Alright guys, thank you. You have a nice day.